Don't miss the biggest nights in MMA.
We are now set for the main event. Ronaldo with the shot.
To score a goal like that, you could see what it meant to me personally.
Champions of the world!
Just all to play for, which is so exciting. These teams have to come in here and give it their all.
Have a real nice tempo. Goes baseline, watch out.
Oh, my!
Oh, baby! All the way down the runway for a big-time throwdown.
Fight Week on DAZN is non-stop action. Access all areas of the biggest fights, even before the bell rings.
I hope you guys enjoy this fight as much as I will.
That's a lot of fans out there.
Look at that! The drama keeps continuing, Sandy.
This is just brilliant.
This is boxing. This is life. It's not joking.
No politics, no fluff, just fist to glory and a little bit of history. Cheers to that.
Of Serie A action. We'll bring you so much of it here on DAZN. Magnificent.
That is tremendous.
DAZN is the home of boxing.
Really spurs you on, gets you going. Let's make history. Pure power. There's no way back from this, surely.
Check your socials because there's big news in the sports world. No, it's not a blockbuster trade or a big name free agent signing. The DraftKings Sports app is now available nationwide. So if you're anywhere from Florida to Texas to California, you can get in the game at the speed of sports and feel the sweat in all 50 states. The DraftKings experience you know and love, all in one easy to use app. Available now nationwide. New DraftKings customers spend $5 and get $150 in total bonuses. The crown is yours.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Welcome to Las Vegas as we build up to a night of World Championship boxing. Today, Yoenli Romero and Teofimo Lopez hit the scales and go face-to-face for the final time before they put it all on the line on Saturday Fight Night.
Sin City, the place where the lights shine brightest and the biggest superstars come out to play.
The takeover! Lopez gets the knockdown.
I'm a fighter to the end of that day.
Let's get this party started.
August 22nd.
Think about Rolly. He gonna get you or you gonna get him?
Indeed, it is time to put up or shut up as Yoenli Romero and Teofimo Lopez get set to face off for the final time before they square off tomorrow night live at the T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm hearing the old echo in my ear. Out goes the earpiece. He's the Latin Snake, Sergio Mora. My name is Todd Grisham. Sergio, we had a chance to speak with both Teofimo Lopez and Yoenli Romero earlier today in our fighter interviews. Yoenli was interesting to say the least. What did you make of his demeanor and his strategy for tomorrow's fight?
Interesting wasn't the word. It was erratic. It was spiritual. It was a little bipolar. I really couldn't grasp what I was listening to. He was confrontational whenever I challenged him with a question. Very emotional. Very emotional. Whenever I'm seeing a fighter like that struggle with himself, I can only imagine how he's going to struggle with a fighter like Teofimo.
Well, he did mention that God has turned his life around. He used to be homeless. He credits his relationship with Jesus being the driving factor behind all his success, which is great. But when you ask a fighter, what's your strategy for the fight tomorrow, and he says things like, I don't know, God will help me figure it out when I get in there. That just, as a former fighter, what does that tell you?
Look, as a former God-fearing fighter,
You're still God-fearing.
I am. And believe me, listen, it's great to be spiritual inside the ring, but you don't want to hand over the keys to someone else when you're fighting. You're supposed to do all the training. You're the one doing all the fighting, all the blood, all the sweat, all the tears. Yes, you want protection, but you don't want to leave it in the hands of God or Jesus or whatever you want to do. You just want his blessing going forward. And Rolly Romero, he couldn't tell us anything about a game plan. It was whatever God decides, whatever Jesus has planned for me, whatever's in store. That's not how a fighter should talk, Todd. A fighter should be talking about the camp, how prepared he is, how spiritual he is as a warrior, but not giving the keys over to somebody else. It just sounded very, very non-fighter-like.
All right, what about Teofimo Lopez? He gave us every answer we wanted, and he thinks the key difference is going to be his in-ring IQ.
And listen, Teofimo is also a spiritual person, but he's doing all the training himself. He's telling me about his IQ, foot movement. He sees the torso area being the key because he knows that Rolly doesn't have the athleticism that Teo comes. So he came with the A, B's, and C's and how he's going to win, and that's why I think he's a favorite.
All right, so these two fighters obviously have been friends for quite some time. They've sparred before. I think they said 36 total rounds. But their respective trainers have been giving us a little back and forth. Ismael Salas and, of course, Teofimo Lopez's father. What do you make of that relationship right now between Teofimo Lopez and his dad in the corner?
I think it's a fractured relationship that's probably on the back nine, I'll be honest with you. Whenever you have a father-son, trainer, boxer relationship, it's good when they're kids, maybe teenagers. But once he grows into a man, a young man, and then a champion, and a multi-champion, you want to hear other words. You want to hear other advice. You want to hear another voice. And Teofimo mentioned that. I think his father has his own issues, his own vices, like we all do. Teofimo, I think, needs to find himself in a new chapter, and it's probably going to be without his father if he wants to have success.
Well, he did say a little bit contradictory. He said, your father, you weren't too happy with how he handled the corner in your last fight against Shakur Stevenson because his father was just basically like, what are you doing? Go get him, go get him. There was no direction, no coaching, so to speak. And he said, look, he's always going to be in my corner, but at the same time, this is his last chance. He's got to take this fight thing as seriously as I am. I need him to be there for me.
And normally it's a father supposed to be talking like that about the boxer and the son. Now it's a son talking about that, about his coach and his father, and that's a red flag for me. So I think this is probably going to be, win, lose, or draw, I think this is going to be the last time we see Teofimo as the main voice, maybe the secondary voice, maybe the helping voice, and I'm fine with that. There's been plenty of father-son relationships where the father ends up being the second or third voice. Think Devin Haney's father. That's a brilliant relationship because he's not the main voice. I think that's what can work going forward after this fight.
And by the way, Devin Haney was supposed to work with us this weekend. We send our condolences and thoughts and prayers to him as he suffered a loss in the family. Hope to see you back real soon, Devin. As for the fight itself, one thing that Rolly did tell us is that he thinks this is going to be an action-packed fireworks fest. What do you say?
No.
No.
I don't see it. I see both guys I see Rolly shell-shocked, first of all. I think he's stuck between styles. He has a new trainer, Cuban sensational trainer in Ismael Salas, but he's not a come-forward, exciting type fighter. He's a boxer. He's a cerebral, fight IQ, strategy, jab. Think about how Rolly Romero fought against or boxed against Ryan Garcia. Sure, he dropped him, but from there it was a jab fest. It was moving, ring generalship. I think that's what we're going to see here in a new weight division where he's going to be having to watch out for the naturally bigger fighter.
Yeah, and Rolly Romero in his last performance against Ryan Garcia, he had that one moment where he knocked him down. But other than that, to me, Ryan Garcia just kind of gave that fight away. Can Rolly beat Teofimo Lopez with the same performance that he delivered that night against Ryan Garcia?
No, I think you're going to need more folds into your attack. That jab, the movement, the early knockdown. That's not going to be enough. Teofimo controls the center of the ring. He's motivated to become a 3-division champion. He is one of these guys that's hot and cold. We all know that. But when he's hot, He's red hot, and I think he's motivated for this fight, not only to become champion again, but because all the names in that division, all the money to make.
All right, we're going to begin the weigh-in here momentarily. A couple of fighters still waiting for them to arrive. We'll be showing you our undercard first, the prelim bouts, and then move to our main card, which will feature 4 fights beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow night. And, of course, the co-main event, Sergio, a fighter that I'm sure not a lot of people are too familiar with. We're getting familiar with him right now. And every piece of video we watch, he is a scary, scary man. And we're talking about Yoenli Hernandez, 10-0. Sergio comes out of Cuba, but he doesn't fight in that traditional Cuban style.
No, Hernandez reminds me of the G-Man. Remember Gerald McClellan, a big middleweight. This is what we got here with Hernandez, a huge middleweight, comes from the Cuban school, but he likes to get on the inside. He likes to make it a fight. You said it, 10 wins, 9 by knockout. This is a man that's not happy going to decision. But there is some red flags in there as well. You know, I want to see how he does against a boxer and a mover. The one fight that he did go the distance against Kyron Davis, I believe it was, he boxed. He was able to track him down. We got someone that can box and can move. This is going to be a good test for the Cuban. Is he really that boogeyman? Is he really that Cuban monster with that power, or does he still have to develop in the professional ranks?
Well, he'll be taking on Francisco Veron out of Argentina. Only 1 loss in his 19 fights. How difficult of an opponent will this be for Yoenli?
I think Veron learned from his blemishes. I think he's very tall. I mean, I sized him up right now. I went and introduced myself. Tall fighter, very motivated, strong, but not a puncher. I think he's one of these crafty fighters that can box, can punch, and can make it tricky for Hernandez because he's not going to stand in front of him and let Hernandez fight like the big man.
All right, Victor Santillan is back. A very impressive fighter who hails out of Dominican Republic, and he's taking on Gary Antonio Russell, part of the famous Fighting Russell family. He wants us to say his full name so not to confuse him with the other brothers. He's the 122-pounder. Sergio, what kind of fight do you think we're going to see in that one?
Gary Antonio, excellent fighter, southpaw. He's going to be southpaw versus southpaw with Santillan. Another tricky fight because both these guys aren't punchers. They're boxers first. And normally when you have a left-hander versus a left-hander, it could be tricky. They're not accustomed to facing each other. They're not accustomed to having that advantage. So it could either be a messy fight or a very exciting fight. I think it's going to be a tactical fight. Yeah. And both of them are going to have to figure each other out.
And right out of the gate, Carlos Utria, who was slightly overweight, I'm being told this morning, will take on Israel Mercado. Mercado, about a 6-1 underdog. But Sergio, he believes he can pull off the upset. In fact, he says he's going to be putting a little money on himself as we look at the fight card.
Well, I'm telling you right now, Carlos Utria has that power. He's a Colombian. We know that he's going to have that power behind that right hand. But Mercado, very motivated. The blemishes he has against great opposition. He has a great team behind him. If there's an upset on this card, you're looking at it right here with Israel Mercado and Utria. I think Mercado has the goods.
So there are the 4 main fights on tomorrow's fight card. Headlined, of course, by Teofimo Lopez taking on Rolly Romero. But on the undercard, and we're about to see some of these guys weigh in right now, we've got Aldo Blancas versus Ricky Mamon. Joseph Brown, an outstanding fighter who trains here in Las Vegas, super welterweight division, taking down Alton Wiggins. And Marco Romero will face Khalil Mitchell. Without further ado, let's get the weigh-in started. We go to the stage now in Curran Batia.
Welcome to the official Rolly Teofimo weigh-in. Put up or shut up. We are coming to you live from Park MGM in Las Vegas. I am your host, Curran Batia. Thank you so much for joining us. Saturday, August 22nd, 2 of this generation's most compelling champions go toe-to-toe as WBA welterweight world champion Rolly Romero takes on 2-division champion Teofimo Lopez. A matchup of stars in their prime. This matchup headlines a PBC pay-per-view available on DAZN and Prime Video beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. Taking place from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Our pay-per-view undercard features rising middleweight star Yoenli Hernandez versus Argentine slugger Francisco Daniel Veron in a 10-round co-main event. Interim WBA Super Bantamweight champion Victor Santillan faces top contender Gary Antonio Russell in a 12-round attraction. And leading off our pay-per-view, sensational prospect Carlos Utria kicks off the action against super lightweight contender Israel Mercado in a 10-round bout. Preceding the pay-per-view, PBC prelims stream live on DAZN and Prime Video. And with a 3-fight presentation beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Headlined by promising unbeaten middleweight prospect Marco Romero. Tickets for the live event are available through AXS.com. This event is promoted by TGB Promotions in association with Takeover Promotions. Sponsored by DraftKings, the crown is yours. Paramount Pictures, By Any Means. Get tickets for By Any Means only in theaters September 4th. It is now time to weigh in our talented fighters. First up, Aldo Blancas versus Ricky Mamon. 4 rounds, scheduled for 142 pounds. Welcoming to the stage first, with a record of 0-1 from Hawaii, please welcome to the stage, Ricky Mamon. His opponent, with a perfect record of 2-0 with 2 knockouts, trained as part of Team Benavidez, from Milwaukee, please welcome to the stage, Aldo Blancas. First up to the scale, Ricky Mamon. 142 pounds for Ricky Mamon. Next up to the scale, please welcome Aldo Blancas. 140.2 pounds for Aldo Blancas. The fighters will now face off. This fight opening up our prelim card is scheduled for 4 rounds at 142 pounds. Next up, we will be weighing in Joseph Brown versus Alton Wiggins. 6 rounds at 158 pounds. First to the stage, with a record of 3-2-1 from Oakland, California, please welcome Alton Wiggins.
By yourself?
And his opponent, now to the stage, with a perfect record of 7-0, 5 knockouts, from Vero Beach, Florida. Please welcome the prodigy, Joseph Brown. First up to the scale, Alton Wiggins. 156.8 pounds for Alton Wiggins. Next up to the scale, here is Joseph Brown. 157.4 pounds for Joseph Brown. We'll now have the fighters face off. Joseph Brown versus Alton Wiggins. 6 rounds at 158 pounds. And topping our prelim card, next up, Marco Romero versus Khalil Mitchell, 8 rounds at 165 pounds. First to the stage with a record of 6-1, 4 knockouts from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Please welcome Khalil Mitchell. Next up to the stage, undefeated at 14-0 with 12 knockouts, the 20-year-old trained by John Brown, representing Overland Park, Kansas. Please welcome Marco El Tiburon Romero. Khalil Mitchell, first to the scale. 164 pounds for Khalil Mitchell. Next up to the scale, please welcome Marco Romero. 164 pounds for Marco Romero. Our fighters will now face off. Topping our prelim card, Marco Romero versus Khalil Mitchell, 8 rounds, 165 pounds. Let's hear it for Marco Romero and Khalil Mitchell.
All right, as we prepare to get set for the undercard weigh-ins, how about we take a look back when Chris Mannix sat down with Teofimo Lopez and Rolly Romero.
Rolly, Teo, thanks for being here. You guys are friends-ish? How would you describe your relationship?
It's like my little brother.
Yeah, I suppose, you know.
We spent a lot of time together.
Is it going to be strange at all for you to go out there, you got great power, to try to use that power on a guy you're friends with?
I mean, a boxing fight's a boxing fight. Sparring session, boxing fight's boxing fight, you know? It's like, if it's God's will, Teofimo will be world champion. If it's God's will, I remain champion, continue on my legacy too.
All right, what do you remember about sparring Rolly Romero?
One thing I remember of Rolly is just he doesn't quit. He doesn't quit.
So who got the better of these sparring sessions, to your memories?
I believe Teo got the better. Truly. I mean, we both had our moments.
I mean, you know? Everybody had their moments for sure.
Yeah.
Do you see a difficult fight on the 22nd?
Yeah, I think it's just competitive.
It's a little bit more of a pause there, though, from you. You have to think about that for a second.
If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this the way I want to do this, right? Oh, but that's just who I am. I'm a nutcase. Yeah. But I didn't want to face you right away.
Yeah.
Off of just, I want to see you still proceed into your stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Trust me, I wanted to go knock out Conor Ben.
I wanted you to go
or Ryan Garcia, or bruh.
So what does this fight mean then for you?
To show the world that, yes, we could be friends, but when it comes to boxing and business, you got to make the fights happen, no matter what.
We're throwing some shots, huh?
Yeah, we can throw shots at everybody. At the same time, it's going to be fun, entertaining. Everyone deserves to see a good showing. He's going to come with all his might, and so am I.
All right, Rolly, Teo, thanks for being here.
It happens tomorrow night live from the T-Mobile Arena. You can sign up for DAZN Ultimate now and bundle our pay-per-view and your regular season events for a discounted price. That way you'll never miss a punch on your global home of boxing. It's the ultimate plan available now on DAZN. Now it's time for our undercard weigh-ins, and for that we turn it over to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
And ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you, and indeed we welcome you as Premier Boxing Champions continues with the festivities as we now present the ceremonial weigh-in for the PBC Pay-Per-View event, available on DAZN and available on Prime Video, and it's all brought to you by TGB Promotions and Takeover Promotions, sponsored by DraftKings. The crown is yours, and sponsored by Paramount Pictures. By any means, tickets for By Many Means are available now only in theaters. It'll be on September the 4th. Our big night of action tomorrow night takes place at the T-Mobile Arena. Hope you join us. Tickets are still available for that. Well, fans, our opening pay-per-view attraction features super lightweights. Let's bring our fighters to the stage at this time. First, he's from Montclair, California. A world-ranked contender. He's ready to put it all on the line. Please welcome Israel Mercado. And we invite his opponent to the stage at this time, joining us all the way from Soplaviento, Colombia. He's the WBC Grand Prix champion. He'll be making his U.S. debut. Please welcome the undefeated Carlos Utria. 'And our fighter's just about ready to step onto the scale at this time. First, we invite to the scale with a record of 13 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, with 7 wins coming by way of knockout. He's the world-ranked WBA North American title holder. Please welcome once again Israel Mercado. 139.4 pounds, 139.4 for Mercado. And his opponent joins us with a record of 14 wins, no losses, and 11 wins coming by way of knockout. He's the undefeated young world-ranked contender. Please welcome Carlos Utria. 140.8, 140.8 for Carlos Utria. Well, fans, we have a fight. Once again, it opens up the PBC Pay-Per-View event, available on DAZN and Prime Video. 10 rounds of boxing, super lightweights. We're going to have our fighters face off at this time. Following that, we have a veteran boxing journalist, Chris Mannix, to hear from both of our fighters.
So here's the face-off, Sergio. Utria missing weight by 0.8 pounds in his U.S. debut. What's that tell you?
Well, that he struggled making weight, but I'm not worried about the weight, I'll be honest with you. I'm worried about whether he's ready for Mercado. Mercado, this is a second 10-round fight. Utria, this is not familiar territory for him, but Israel Mercado's motivated for this fight. Both are ripped and ready. I could see that Mercado's maybe a little bit bigger, more muscular. If there's an upset, Todd, like I told Chris Mannix, this is going to be it with Israel Mercado.
Carlos Utria almost exclusively has fought in Colombia. We don't know what the record tells us. It looks on paper to be pretty good, Sergio, but a lot of times it can be deceiving.
No, I fought a couple of Colombians. They definitely have the power. They're just born with that knockout punch. But the punch resistance is what lacks when it usually comes with Colombian fighters. Utria looks like he can take a punch. He definitely can give a punch, but does he have the experience, especially the later the fight goes? And that's what's going to be the tell.
Let's send it to Chris Mannix now.
All right, Israel, a couple of words exchanged there in that final face-off. What did you say to Carlos?
Said he ate too many tacos with his trader in Mexico. Panda, too many.
You said the key word in this fight is going to be exposed. What does it mean to expose him to you?
It means, just going out there doing my thing, executing the game plan, coming home with the belt, man. That's it. Oh, it's not even on the line for him. Too much, like I said.
You've been underestimated a lot. You're a big underdog once again coming into this fight. What do you think people are underestimating about you?
My whole style, my whole get down, but I'm glad I get to do it in front of the whole world. T-Mobile Arena, it's a great card, man. I'm going to make the most of it for sure.
Good luck, Israel.
Thank you, sir.
Carlos, let's start with the weight. Missed weight by almost a pound. How are you feeling going into this fight?
Bueno, Carlos, estuviste casi 1 libra por encima del peso. ¿Cómo te sentís de cara a esta pelea?
No, primero que todo, fue ya contra mi voluntad. Tuve un problema con lo del visado. Tuve que viajar un día antes, después del pesaje. Y pues son cosas que se me salen de las manos, pero aquí estamos. Y veo que está llorando mucho, entonces, no sé.
Well, it was out of my hands, really. I mean, I had some issues with my visa here, and then a lot of things came up. I see my opponent is crying a lot about it, but it is what it is, and we just move forward.
What did you say to him in that final stare down?
¿Qué le dijiste en aquel careo de recién?
No, que era un payaso que me habla en inglés siendo de Nicaragua, entonces no lo entiendo ni verga, entonces, no sé, payaso.
You're a clown. You're talking to me in English, being from Nicaragua. I don't even know English, so I guess you're a clown.
U.S. debut for you. What are you hoping to show in this fight?
Bueno, debut en Estados Unidos. ¿Qué esperas poder demostrar en esta pelea?
Bueno, primero que todo le doy las gracias a PBC, a Luis de Cuba y a todos los que hicieron posible que yo estuviera aquí. Sé que no se arrepentirán de haberme firmado. Vengo con hambre, vengo con ganas de ser una leyenda en mi país y de demostrarles que los colombianos ya vamos para una buena etapa.
Well, I want to thank PBC, Louis de Cuba Jr., everybody that made this possible. I want all of you to know that you're not going to regret signing me. And I want to show everybody that Colombia is going to show up and show out this Saturday night.
Good luck, Carlos.
Buena suerte.
Muchas gracias.
Por cierto, ¿la familia bien? ¿El terremoto todo bien?
Sí, todo bien, gracias.
All right, so one fight down off our main card. 3 to go. Coming up next, it's the super bantamweight division, 12-rounder between Victor Santillan and Gary Antonio Russell. Speaking of whom, there he is. What's up, Gary?
Well, fans from Las Vegas, Nevada Premier Boxing Champions continue as the weigh-in with an interim world title attraction coming up next and is brought to you by TGB Promotions along with Schwan Boxing. Well, fans, let's bring our fighters to the stage at this time. First, the challenger from Capitol Heights, Maryland. Representing the renowned Russell family boxing legacy, please welcome Gary Antonio Russell. And now we invite the defending champion to join us on the stage from La Romana in the Dominican Republic. Here is the interim WBA Super Bantamweight champion, Victor Santillan. And looks like our fighters are ready to step on to the scale at this time. We'll begin with the challenger. His record, 21 wins. Only 1 defeat with 13 wins coming by way of knockout. He's a top contender, world-ranked southpaw, the one and only Gary Antonio Russell. 121.2 pounds, 121.2 pounds. And now the defending champion we invite to the scale at this time, newly crowned interim WBA Super Bantamweight World Champion, Victor Santillan. 121.6, 121.6 pounds. Both of our fighters make weight. We have a fight. It's 12 rounds of boxing for the interim WBA Super Bantamweight World title. Victor Santillan versus Gary Antonio Russell.
All right, Sergio, you think this is going to be the most competitive fight of the night, and the odds say it in Las Vegas. This is pretty much a pick 'em.
No, it is a pick 'em, but southpaw versus southpaw. Both these guys are excellent boxers. They have enough pop to get your respect, but more boxing than power. And the thing about Victor Santillan, his last loss, he's coming out back-to-back third-round knockouts, but his last loss versus Tenshin Natsukawa was a southpaw, so maybe the left-handed stance gives them issues. We're going to find out with Russell.
Big opportunity here for Gary Antonio Russell. Only 1 professional loss, but a win here, and you got to believe for whichever fighter, they might get a world title opportunity next. Let's send it back upstairs to Chris Minnick.
Well, Gary, first fight in about a year. How are you feeling going into this one?
I feel fantastic. I feel good.
Your opponent coming into this, Victor, says that you can't deal with the pressure that he's going to bring. What kind of fight are you expecting from him?
A wide one. He's a rough, tough guy. I expect him to walk in and get reckless.
Do you think that his skills are on your level?
Not at all. Y'all gonna see that come Saturday.
You've got a brother as a former world champion in your corner, your brother Gary Antoine, a world champion. How anxious are you to kind of join those championship ranks?
Oh, I'm extra anxious, you know. It's been in the making. The preparation been good. This is what I've been looking forward to.
How do you see this fight playing out?
My hand being raised. Like I said, if he get reckless, I have the punching power, I have the ring IQ, and the box ability to get him up out there.
Good luck, Gary.
And thank you.
Well, Victor, your first fight as an interim world champion, how confident are you feeling coming into this one?
Bueno, Víctor, tu primera pelea como campeón interino mundial. ¿Cómo te sentís de cara a esta pelea del sábado?
Me siento muy bien, me siento muy motivado y con deseo de darle al público un buen show y que para que vean quién yo soy y qué represento y de lo que estoy hecho.
I feel great. I feel really motivated. And what I want to do the most is show the fans out here what I'm made of and what I can do. I can't wait.
You said that he can't deal with pressure. You said you're going to make it rough on him. Why do you believe that he can't deal with your pressure?
Dijiste ayer que él no puede lidiar con la presión, que le vas a hacer la vida imposible. ¿Por qué pensás que él no es capaz de lidiar con ese tipo de cosas?
Porque lo he visto en varias peleas de él y yo vine aquí a demostrar eso y lo voy a exponer allá arriba.
Look, I'm just here to fight, and I'm here to show you that what I said is true. What's left is to showcase that up there in the ring.
Good luck, Victor.
Thank you.
All right, now we move to our co-main event of the evening, and it's our first look here on DAZN at Yoenli Hernandez. Can't wait to see what this Cuban nightmare has in store for us as he faces Argentina's Francisco Veron. There he is.
And from Las Vegas, Nevada Premier Boxing Champions continues the action and brings in our weigh-in for the co-main event of the evening. It is brought to you by TGB Promotions in association with Warriors Boxing and Pro Box Promotions. Well, fans, this bout is a special attraction in the middleweight division, scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing first, joining us from Buenos Aires, Argentina, world rank title holder in the super welterweight division. He is ready to take on the best in the middleweight division now. Please welcome a fighter known as Bebu, Francisco Daniel Veron. And now we invite his opponent up to the stage at this time, joining us from Camagüey, Cuba, also now residing in Providence, Rhode Island. Undefeated, rising middleweight world rank contender, please welcome Yoenli El Diablo Hernandez. And the fighters are ready to step on to the scale. 10 rounds of boxing. Once again, it is the co-main event of the evening. The weight limit on this fight, 160 pounds. First to the scale, with a record of 17 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw. He has 10 wins coming by way of knockout. The battle-ready Latino champion, Bebu Francisco Daniel Veron. 159.6, 159.6. For Veron. And now his opponent, with an outstanding record of 10 wins, no losses, 9 of his wins coming by way of knockout, the undefeated rising middleweight star, Yoenli El Diablo Hernandez. 159.2 pounds, 159.2. Well, we have a fight, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it's our co-main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing, a middleweight special attraction. Yoenli El Diablo Hernandez versus Francisco Daniel Veron.
Well, Sergio, there he is. Yoenli Hernandez from Cuba, undefeated. Big test for him tomorrow night, but you expect him to pass with flying colors.
I expect him to pass it. I don't know, the later the fight goes, I think Veron, who's coming off 3 straight unanimous decisions in 10 rounds, the later it goes, the more he can expose if there is holes in Hernandez. But if he's the real deal, Yoenli Hernandez is going to do something special and turn heads with that power.
Well, he's got the co-main event billing, which is not easy to do on this, the first PBC card featured on DAZN, as we turn it again to Chris Mannix.
All right, Francisco, you are back at 160 pounds. How different do you feel at this weight?
Bueno, estás de vuelta en las 160 libras. ¿Qué tan distinto te sentís en este nivel, en esta división?
No, no me siento distinto. Siento que es una pelea más, dura, pero estamos bien preparados para lo que se viene.
Look, I don't feel any different. I know it's going to be a tough fight, but I'm prepared for what's coming.
You just had the face-off there. That is a big, strong middleweight standing in front of you. What do you have to do to beat him?
Recién tuviste el careo, tenés a un oponente grandote, fuerte. ¿Qué es lo que tenés que hacer para ganarle?
No, yo tengo que hacer mi boxeo. Yo vengo entrenando duro. Tuvimos mucha preparación física, más para esta categoría que tuvimos que subir. Estamos bien preparados. Tengo el poder, tengo la rapidez, tengo el boxeo para poder ganarle.
Look, all I have to do is do my thing because I believe in the foundation of my preparation. I have the power, I have the stamina, I have the strength needed to come out on top.
I know you consider yourself a boxer, but the Argentinians I know love to fight. Do you think this fight ends in a knockout?
Bueno, él dice que los argentinos que él conoce salen a pelear. ¿Crees que esta pelea termina en knockout?
Y nosotros siempre hacemos nuestro plan de pelea, nuestro boxeo, y bueno, si el knockout llega, bien, y si no llega, bueno, vamos a tratar de ganar la mayor cantidad de rounds posible.
Look, we're just going to follow our game plan, and then, you know, if the knockout comes, it comes. If not, we're just going to try to win as many rounds as we can.
Good luck, Francisco.
Buena suerte.
Muchas gracias.
No te vayas,
Yoenli 10-0, 9 knockouts. Now here you are in the co-main event of a huge card. How are you feeling going into this fight?
Bueno, estás en el evento costelar de una gran cartelera. ¿Cómo te sentís de cara a esta pelea?
No, me siento muy agradecido de haber estado aquí y mañana vamos por esa victoria.
I'm just very thankful to be here, and tomorrow we're going for that win.
You said you're going for that win. You're coming off a knockout win over Terrell Gaucher. Are you looking for a knockout in this fight?
Venís de noquear a Gaucher. ¿Querés noquear a Veron?
Exacto, vengo por el knockout.
Exactly, I'm coming for the knockout.
You're one of the highest ranked middleweights in all of boxing. Do you think this is the fight where you show everybody that you're ready for that world title shot?
¿Sentís que esta es la pelea en la que le mostrás a todo el mundo que estás listo para esa pelea por el título mundial?
No, esto es un obstáculo más en mi carrera. Ya lo que yo he tenido que demostrar ya lo he demostrado y voy a hacer mi pelea este sábado.
No, this is just another obstacle for me. I already proven what I need to prove, and I'm just out here to fight and get the win on Saturday night.
He's a pretty good boxer. Do you think he's going to be able to stay away from you?
Bueno, él es bastante táctico, elusivo. ¿Sentís que va a poder estar lejos de vos o que lo vas a agarrar?
Yo lo voy a agarrar. Él podrá moverse y hacer lo que le da la gana, pero yo lo voy a agarrar en la corta o la larga.
Look, I know he's gonna move. He can do whatever he wants, but in the end, I'm gonna get him.
Good luck, Yoenli.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll clear the stage and get set for the main event weigh-in coming up next. But right now, let's get you hyped for next week's heavyweight showdown. Moses Atamwa and Filip Hrgovic.
Good morning. DAZN have announced that boxer Moses Atamwa could make history
as the youngest British heavyweight champion ever.
Are you ready to die?
Ready to make history, sunshine?
Hold it there. Perfect. For the poster.
So you're better than Tyson, are you? Ladies and gentlemen, for the IBF World Heavyweight Championship, live on DAZN.
August 29th will be the start of something special.
You ready?
it's history. August 29th, Moses versus Hrgovic for the heavyweight world title. Live exclusively on DAZN Saturday Fight Night.
Moses Atama looking to become the second youngest heavyweight champion ever as he faces El Animal. You can buy it now on DAZN.com/boxing. Then Friday, September 4th, former unified heavyweight world champion Andy Ruiz is back in action in New Jersey. September 19th, Pitbull Cruz puts his interim WBC super lightweight title on the line against Nestor Bravo. And the legend Canelo Alvarez is back, chasing super middleweight supremacy once again. He targets Christian Mbili. Halloween, October 31st, live from Riyadh in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, the esteemed CEO of The Ring Magazine, Mr. Rick Reno. Rick, it's a pleasure to have you here on the broadcast. What's on the line tomorrow night between Rolly Romero and Teofimo Lopez?
I mean, a lot is on the line. A lot of money is on the line. It's a loaded welterweight division. I mean, it's high stakes for both guys. I mean, Rolly's been out of action for a while. Got a major win against Ryan Garcia, the biggest of his career. But if he loses to Teofimo Lopez, all of that goes away. That whole run goes away and he becomes a non-factor. Teofimo is coming off a bad defeat to Shakur in a new weight division, looking for more gold. He wins, he automatically becomes a player. Maybe he fights the winner of Ryan and Conor Benn. Maybe he gets Devin Haney. Maybe he gets Liam Parrow. I mean, the stakes couldn't be much higher.
Rick, in 2 weeks, we're going to be watching the return of Andy Ruiz. We're going to be going to New Jersey. What do you expect at 36 years old from Andy Ruiz? Can he still be a player in the heavyweight division?
Absolutely. I mean, Andy hasn't taken much punishment in his career. I was actually with him recently in LA. He looks in fantastic shape. He's back with his old trainer. He said his head is right. He had a lot of personal issues going into the Jarrell Miller fight a couple of years back. He suffered a bad injury in that fight. He said he's completely healthy. And, you know, he wants the guys that are out there. He wants Moses. He wants Caballel. He wants Anthony Joshua. But first, he has to take care of business against a very big Polish opponent who can punch.
Rick, before we get you out of here, you got to give us some clarity. What the hell is going on with AJ and Tyson Fury? What needs to happen to get this fight over the line?
I mean, I think there's a lot of contractual things that have to get sorted out. I mean, we've heard all of the things from AJ's promoter, Eddie Hearn, and I think if they could sort those issues out, it's going to happen. Both fighters are on board. A deal is done. It's just a few minor contractual things that have to get sorted, like the location.
Location and money. Let's keep it real, Rick. Is it the money or the location?
Well, they sometimes go hand in hand.
Sometimes.
All right, Rick. Well, we got a lot of big fights coming up. Of the schedule as you see it, which fight has you the most excited right now?
I'm very excited, actually, for Canelo and Mbili. Because after Canelo's last fight, you know, some people are writing him off. They're saying Canelo's on the downslide. Maybe he's old. Maybe it's time to pack it up. And if there's one guy who will find that out, it's Christian Mbili, who will go in your face and throw 100 punches around.
There you have it from Mr. Versace himself. Rick Reno, thanks for joining us. Let's send it back upstairs now to the always classy Mr. Jimmy Lennon Jr.
All right, fans, here we go from Las Vegas, Nevada. Premier Boxing Champions presents the weigh-in with a featured bout of the evening brought to you by TGB Promotions in association with Takeover Promotions. Sponsored by DraftKings, the crown is yours. And sponsored by Paramount Pictures, By Any Means. Get your tickets for By Any Means only in theaters September 4th. Well, fans, time to bring our fighters out to the stage for the main event of the evening. First, we invite the challenger up to the stage. From Brooklyn, New York, now training in Las Vegas, Nevada. He is the former unified lightweight world champion and the former junior welterweight champion of the world, the Takeover, Teofimo Lopez. And now we invite the defending world champion up to the stage from Las Vegas, Nevada. the former super lightweight title holder and the current defending WBA welterweight champion of the world, Rolando "Rolly" Romero. And our fighters are ready to step onto the scale. Weight limit on this fight, of course, is 147 pounds because this is for the WBA Welterweight Championship of the World. First, with a record of 22 wins, 2 losses, 13 wins coming by way of knockout. He's the renowned challenger and the 2-division champion of the world, the Takeover, Teofimo Lopez. 147 pounds for Teofimo Lopez, right at the welterweight limit, 147. And now we invite the defending world champion to the scale with a record of 17 wins, 2 losses, 13 knockouts. Here is the colorful, reigning WBA welterweight champion of the world, Rolando "Rolly" Romero. 146.6 pounds, 146.6 for the defending champion. Well, fans, we have a fight, 12 rounds of boxing. It's the main event of the evening, brought to you by TGB Promotions and Takeover Promotions. Premier Boxing Champions presents the WBA Welterweight Championship of the World.
Well, Sergio, there they are. Really good friends, former sparring partners, but they both promise that won't be a factor tomorrow night when the bell rings.
That's not going to be a factor because that friendly stuff goes out the window now. Now it's business. Now it's the blood sport that they grew up doing. And when it comes to championship level boxing and you're defending a belt, being a champion is one thing, but defending that championship is another thing. And you can see the look in the eye of Rolly. He's all business now.
Rolly Romero coming off an 18-month layoff after defeating Ryan Garcia to win that belt that he has on his shoulder. Of course, Teofimo Lopez's last fight was against Shakur Stevenson, and that just is not going to be a good enough performance to beat Rolly tomorrow night.
No, it's definitely not, but no one looks good against Shakur Stevenson, and Rolly Romero is definitely no Shakur Stevenson. This is a man that can punch, big puncher. At 147, that power carry, the inactivity, will it ruin his ability to take a punch? A lot of answers need to be questioned here, and I think Teofimo's ready for the moment.
Here's Chris Mannix.
Well, Teo, things started off friendly between you and Rolly. Long stare down there at the end. What did you see when you looked at him?
I seen the same guy that I seen at the Olympic qualifiers in Colorado Springs. Now it's time for us to fight. We pictured this moment years ago, and now it's the time.
You called him this week an interim champion. You called him a fan. You said he's not on your level. What gives you the confidence that you're the much better fighter?
Everything I ever done in the sport so far, 9 years in, is, man, we never take the easy roads and we never take anything light. Honestly, we here to take over, man. So he's the guy that's in front of me. So, you know, all I can say from this point on, tune in tomorrow night.
He's also the guy in front of you, but you also called him a Judas yesterday at the press conference. This has gotten a little bit personal for you.
Absolutely. I mean, it is personal. He's not going to go over there and just let me take the title from him. So, you know, I think for me right now it's just staying locked in.
How high are the stakes for a fight like this? The winner likely goes on to a big unification fight. The loser, a big step back. Is this a must-win for you?
I say I'm always win. I'm a winner. I'm a winner in life. So we're going to win.
How do you see the fight playing out?
And new, Teofimo Lopez, the Takeover, 3-division world champion.
Good luck, Teo.
Thank you.
Rolly, you've been out of the ring for a long time. How does it feel just 24 hours away from getting back into it?
Time to fight.
You had a long stare down there with Teofimo. What did you see when you looked at him?
It's time to fight.
Called you an interim champion this week, dismissed your accomplishments. Any of that bother you? Does that give you any more added motivation coming into this fight? How do you see this fight playing out, Rolly? All right, Todd, we'll go back to you.
Wow. Okay, there you have it. Rolly Romero opting not to say much at all, even though this is the last opportunity to sell those pay-per-views. You got to help us a little bit here, Rolly, as we're welcomed by DAZN's North American head of boxing, Britton Harden. Hopefully you perform better on the mic than we just saw Rolly do right there. What do you make of his demeanor all week?
Listen, I think Rolly is just super locked in right now. To your point, the magnitude of this, how big this is, how they got here, how he has to fight someone that he's intimately close with, I think all of that is getting to him. But I think he's trying to combat that with this ego that we see on stage.
Speaking of ego, don't you think he needs that ego, that showmanship like he did in his past promotions where he's a talker? He would put down his opponents. I mean, that's the Rolly Romero that always shows up. This more reserved version, it doesn't give you a red flag. It doesn't make you question whether he really is hungry and ready for this moment, big stage.
Yeah, but you're a fighter. And you understand, what works with one fighter and one opponent might not work with the other one. This is someone who he's been in the ring with, has grown up with him in a sense. I think that what he understands is that he has to be somebody different than he's always been to beat Teofimo Lopez.
All right, Britton, what's on the line here for the winner of this fight? When you look at the boxing landscape, there seems to be a lot of opportunities. Who do you think the winner of this fight will take on next?
It's a lot of interesting names right now at 147 pounds. 147 pounds has always been one of those historically sought-after weight classes. It's a legacy division. And when the DAZN team has reached out to these fighters to understand what they want to do, they all say they want to unify, they want to go undisputed, they want the biggest names in the sport. That's what's on the line here. It's legacy, it's everything.
Now, is that a reason that DAZN signed Teofimo off a loss? Because of that weight division, because of the names that he can fight, because of the money that can be generated? Teofimo's always a A-side guy, but coming off a loss and still getting a deal, what went behind that?
Well, it made a lot of sense. You just laid it out right there. 147 pounds is a weight class that has so much rich history. You got Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Shane Mosley, Manny Pacquiao, the who's who of boxing have fought at that weight class. That is a storyline that DAZN is interested in telling. And when we talked to Teofimo Lopez, that was a weight class that he identified. He wanted to unify. He wanted to go undisputed, and Rolly didn't back down to any challenge.
You know, in DAZN, they're selling the Four Kings with this new weight class. You just mentioned those great names. Can we still get those fights that we were expecting from all the big names, from Teo to Ryan to everyone else, from Rolly if he wins this fight? Do you think you can still make the new Four Kings in this new era?
Well, the reason why it's such a great time to be a boxing fan in this era of boxing is because DAZN has essentially unified the sport. And we brought a lot of the major boxing promoters under one umbrella, under one home, so that we can make those fights. Because we understand that that type of legacy, those type of fights, bringing those fighters together and those promoters together is so important to telling the linear stories to the audience. Right. So yes, to answer your question, we still get those fights, and I think that right now is the best time to be a boxing fan.
And we're getting the big fight tomorrow night. Make sure you order it now. Go to DAZN.com/boxing as Rolly Romero defends his welterweight championship for the first time against Teofimo Lopez, who's moving up in weight, 147 pounds. It's Saturday fight night, and it all kicks off at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific here in Sin City at the T-Mobile Arena. For Mr. Harden, Mr. Mora, and Mr. Mannix, I'm Mr. Grisham. We'll see you right back here from the fight capital of the world tomorrow night.
On August 22nd, live from Las Vegas, Nevada, and worldwide on DAZN, two friends will enter the ring, but only one will leave a champion.
You got two champions.
Teofimo is half crazy.
Super fast, super twitchy, excellent counterpuncher.
But Teofimo has no problems. He fights Shakur Stevenson. He loses that fight. He steps right back in there with a friend.
Rolly Romero is the other half crazy. No, of course not.
Rolly Romero, a chance to defend his WBA title after some personal setbacks.
If it's God's will, Teofimo will be world champion. If it's God's will, I remain champion, continue on my legacy too.
For Teofimo Lopez, a chance at redemption after the toughest loss of his career.
This is what champions go through. I mean, this is life. This is boxing.
Friends now become opponents.
A boxing fight is boxing fight, you know.
You better not sleep on this guy. Don't sleep on this motherfucker. He playing this other character right now.
It's time to put up or shut up.
Kramer for three. Got it! Unbelievable! Puts it up and in. Ronaldo. Oh, genius! Van Persie with an absolute stunner. Yeah!